Hello and welcome to an episode of Cooking with Coach Rob. It's the 26th, and somehow I've hurt my hip, and it was really hard to maneuver. So we're going to do the Cooking with Coach Rob. We got our crutches here in case we need them, and we got a new feature. One of my good friends, Jared Baines from the Lumber Track and Field Days, says you should have a shutout like every episode. So we're going to call this feature, like remember Hockey in Canada had the Coach's Corner? We're going to call this the Jared Baines shutout. The Jared Baines shutout. So today we're shouting out to the paramedics that came here yesterday and helped me get to the hospital, and all the wonderful medical staff at the hospital that did the x-rays and the blood work and all that. So thank you for them. And if you want to be in a future shout out, please like and subscribe and make a comment. Thank you. It's about 4:13 p.m. on the 26th of November 2019. I got my crutches right here. This kitchen is relatively small, so I can lean on it. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to make what's called Wisconsin butter burgers. I've seen some YouTube videos on this and all that. The only difference is we're going to use our patties. We're not going to use the fresh ground meat. So what we got to do now is we got to preheat the broiler. No, we're not doing the broiler, but we're doing the buns on the other frying pan. So you got about 2 tablespoons of butter in the large cast iron skillet. Can't use a cast iron skillet on these stoves, so we're going to use a non-stick pan. We're going to add the onions up. We're going to dice up. We cook them for 6 to 8 minutes, and we're going to add a 1/3 cup of water. Then after that, when the onions are golden brown, you cook them a bit more with ground pepper. So we're gonna do our onion up right now. So we might as well do this in one clean shot, like in one. It's still a bit sore when I move around, but we got our thing there, and this is. Okay, we'll be back in a sec. Okay, we're back here. We had to do a quick battery change. So as you can see, when Shannon was changing the battery, I continued on a bit here. And we're going to put the scraps in there, and we'll go in the compost in the freezer after, like, we've got it in the bucket in the freezer. You guys have seen that in other episodes. In case you're wondering why I still got the hospital band on, it's like I'm still in a bit of pain, and I said if I'm not any better, come back. But you still got to go do the whole process again. But having this still on, I can show them, like, look, I was just here, like yesterday. I got there around 20 to 3 in the afternoon, and I got home here about, was it 9:30, Shannon, or
yeah.
Say I phoned you, like?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we might be moving a bit slower today, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this box over here. I know the recipe, but just for purposes, we're going to put that. I don't know if you can see that in the video or not. Like, we'll open this here. Never ever like have it plugged in when you're putting the onions in. Like, it shouldn't start, but you never know, it could. Right? It's just called playing safe. Sort of like the safety dance. Remember the safety dance?
Yep.
And without hats. Another thing too, when you're cutting onions or cutting in any restaurant, you shouldn't be talking like I was. You should concentrate 100% because you don't want to get distracted. So these onions are going to be a little bit different than the recipe called. I think the recipe wanted it like the way we do it for the liver and onions. But I kind of like them like more smaller. What do you think, Shannon?
Yeah.
Yeah, like sort of like when you get a cheeseburger at McDonald's, you open it up and it's got the the tiny cubes. So I think that's enough for right now. And then we're gonna you gotta plug it in. This is. So we'll put this in the frying pan. Now don't confuse that, because I had somebody email me in another episode. They were confused when I said frying pan. They thought I was talking about the Stephen Bishop song, On and On. Right? You know where Susie's in love with Sam? And they got a frying pan of some kind. So yeah, so please people, this is the frying pan. It's two different things. There we go. And for the record, they are not talking about Sue McGinnis in the song. I don't think she knows anybody by the name of Sam. But hello, Sue McGinnis. Okay, as we continue here, whoops, just got to check this. That's my buddy Charlie. That's Shannon's cat, the photographer. And he's such a cute kitty, and he's always like friendly, and he comes to you when you're sitting on the couch or the table, and he bumps his head against you. He's such a great cat. Meow.
Meow.
Anyway, back to here. Oh, we gotta unplug this. Put that back in there. The more small, the better when you're putting it in this one, because this is just a Durabrand one from Walmart. I've had quite some years now, but it works good. But if you were doing this all the time, if you had a big family, or if you worked in a professional kitchen, you wouldn't use this, you'd burn it out, but it's perfect for this, like. Charlie, we always put our knives away when we're finished using them. And yes, we do wash our hands with a soap and water in between movements. Oh, dude, what did I do wrong, everybody? That's got to come out. Let me put the blade in. Oh. So the blade is... I think that's in there. And we're going to plug this back in again. Bzz. Maybe I'm going to unplug this when I do this little test here, like. We'll do that pretty good. So in a second I'm going to dump the rest of this in here, then we'll get the pan going and we'll begin the sauteing process or cooking process. Thank you. Okay, we've got our butter here that we're going to stick in the pan now, right? And we've got to defrost that, or not defrost it, we've got to now for that. But I'm going to tell you a little trick and we'll show you after. We've got our other butter here for when we put on our burgers, right? Now it's frozen. I was watching a YouTube video the other day. It was called Kitchen Hacks. And what you do is you grate it, then you spread it on your bun if it's still frozen at that time, if it's still hard. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to scoot back over here, and we're going to... You might have a bit too much butter in there. So we're just going to wait another minute or so, then we'll be back, and we'll put our onions in. Okay, now we're going to put our onions in, and it says cook them, what does it say, 6 to 8 minutes, right? So we're going to put them in here. butter in there. But that's the proper heat. It says like medium heat. I would say that's medium, eh, Shannon?
Yep.
2 to 3. So we're just going to let those cook. And how long did I say?
I can't remember.
I said 6 to 8 minutes. So we'll go kitchen timer. There, 6 to 8 minutes. And there's the recipe there for those of you that are following at home. Okay, thanks. Okay, so the 8 minutes is up. And then now we got to do in the same skillet, we got to put, I'm putting a 1/4 cup of water. It asked for a 1/3, but we only did 1 onion, we didn't do 2. So we got a 1/4 cup of onion, and we just got to pour it on the onions. So we got to reach over here and get our lid. This is like a glass, so you got to be really careful when you put this in here though, because that is a non-stick pan. And we're going to start it. It said 15 minutes, but we dicked around for a couple minutes to begin with. So there we go. Thanks. Yeah, as you can see, they've been in for about 3 minutes now. Our onions, that is. And we got they're going to be pretty good. So we'll check back in another few minutes. Thanks. Okay, we got our onions here. It ended up being a bit too long, and maybe the heat was too high. But they're not too bad. Like sometimes you get blackened onions like that. So it says to add, whoa, just a bit of salt and pepper. Like that's okay, though. That's good. Actually, I don't think there's anything wrong with those, is there?
Nope.
Oh, they look good.
Very good.
Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break for 1 second when I grab the burglars. Okay, now we're going to put our burgers in the pan, and it says to cook them for timeout. Okay, add patties to the hot skillet, smash them flat, but we're using pre-made patties. It says cook them 3 minutes per side until well done. We're going to do them well done. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but in Canada when you order a burger in a restaurant, it's cooked. Like you can't order it medium well or rare like you can a steak. Like I know in the United States you can, but not in Canada because our regulations are a bit stronger on that. So what we're going to do now is is it getting smoky in here, Shannon, or no?
No.
Okay, we're going to put our burgers on. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put this in here off camera. Then I'll get out the buns. Okay, in this pan here on the left, we got our buns toasting up, and we got our burgers cooking over here. But it's going to take, like that's counting down from 4 minutes. It's going to take a bit longer than that, because we got to do the other side. So I think I might do it like another 1.5 minutes on this side, then turn it over and see what we got. As you can see, the burgers are coming along quite good. We are going to add some cheese to it. Then when you come over here, we got our buns cooking, and they're getting nice and toasty. If you wanted to make them more brown, you could actually put on the butter right on the bun. Okay, we're going to salt it at 1 minute because the recipe said to do it 4 minutes. We had it set for 5, so we have to temp this just to make sure it's at 165 or more, and we're going up to. Yeah, it's going to go 165. So we're just going to temp the other one here. Alright. Yeah. And we just started right now, we're going to put the cheese on. Yeah. So that's good. Going to just leave it over here by doing this. Okay, then we're going to get the cheese out and our buns together, so we'll be right back. You know, it says to use butter, but I like this. I can't believe it's not butter. So that's what I'm going to put on mine and Shannon's. I'm going to put it on the top of my bun. And it looks like there's enough, like, and Shannon wants some on hers.
Yep.
We're going to put our cheese on next. Is that enough? I can put more on in a sec.
Oh, that's good.
And that's good. So we're going to put the cheese on when the cheese is out, and we'll put the onions on. Cheese is melting. I'll continue rolling here. Keep in mind, I didn't want any other sauces because that's how they do it on the thing. I'm just going to put my onions there, and I'll give the rest to Shannon. Should I put some on each?
Yes, please.
Oh. Turning. All the plates on the. How's that?
That's good. Good job.
Turning. Let's take a picture of that. So in a couple minutes we'll have the burgers all plated up and we'll show you the finished product. Okay, so we got our butter burgers all done on a bit of a different menu. As you can see, Shannon's got her two there with the onions on underneath. And I've just made mine up with the onions and the butter, and I got my chips here. So I'm going to put this burger on here. And that includes this episode of Cooking with Coach Raw. And to top it off, I got some great value potato chips. So please like and subscribe, and hopefully by the next video I'll be off the crutches. Have a good day, everyone.